What is going on, guys? What is going on, Steeler Nation? Welcome back to another live stream hosted by the SteelTwins here, as it is currently Sunday night. We are officially in draft week, man. We are 3 to 4 short days away from the NFL draft, the 2022 NFL draft. It is unbelievable how fast it's been here. I'm excited that it's already draft week. It's one of my favorite weeks of the entire year, not only because it doesn't have the draft in it, but because we head to Pittsburgh for the draft week with our boy Cold Steel, with our sister Still Blondie. It's one of our more favorite times of the year. So for it to be draft week already, it's insane. And tonight, man, we're going to be talking about who the Steelers could potentially draft in the first round, whether that's trading up or whether that's just remaining still at pick 20, man. But we're not alone tonight, man. We are not alone. We're going to be featured by some of the guys from the Discord chat to join us and help us, talk about certain prospects and talk about who could be available at 20 or who we could potentially select, man. We're going to go through positions and guys in those positions and stuff like that. So I want to welcome the Discord chat. H2O Vanos, man. How are you, bro?
I'm doing well, guys. How are you?
I can't really complain, man. It is draft week. How are you feeling about the draft this year?
Oh, I am ready for the draft. I am kind of nervous what we're going to pick in the first round. Yeah, I just hope the team drafts well again like they did last year.
Yeah, man. This is Kevin Colbert's last draft as Steelers GM for his entire career before he heads into retirement. So hopefully it goes out with a bang. Before we talk about the first round, though, obviously, we got to talk about Terrell Edmonds because he was signed for a one-year deal, $2.5 million deal. It is essentially a fifth-year option, only very much cheaper. So from a business aspect, that is a genius move by the Steelers and by Kevin Colbert and company, man. To get Edmonds that cheap, to bring him back for only 1 year, somewhat of a prove-it deal. Like I said, something like a fifth-year option. But to get a young safety like him who hasn't missed any games, any snaps since coming into the league as a first-rounder, think of him how you will. To get him back that cheap, a starting safety that cheap, is one hell of a deal. How do you feel about the re-signing of Terrell Edmonds?
I'm kind of happy he's coming back for another year. Listen, everyone keep talking about Tyrann Mathieu. They want Tyrann Mathieu for the team. Just for Imagine. Basically, I kind of wanted Tyrann Mathieu at first, but then I have a feeling that we would sign Terrell Edmonds. But here's my question. I don't know what took them so long to re-sign Edmonds, but I am kind of happy he is coming back.
Yeah, I don't know what the holdup was. Maybe that was an Edmonds thing. Maybe they were just waiting on a decision by Terrell Edmonds himself. I heard there were two other teams in the mix, that being, I believe, the Dolphins and the Bengals. Ultimately, he would decide to return to Pittsburgh. Thank God for him. Thank God for us. Now we don't have to worry about safety in the first round. Now, I'm not going to roll out safety completely. I'm not going to roll out safety at some point in this draft because Edmonds might not be here a year from now, to be real with you. We could be drafting his replacement similar to what we did with Highsmith and Dupree, so I don't know. But to get safety out the way, that is a huge sigh of relief, a huge weight lifted off the shoulders. Now, all options are on the table at 20, man. Obviously, we're going to talk about the quarterback position first because, in my opinion, that's the most likely pick that they're going to go. That's the most likely position they're going to draft, in my opinion. Now, obviously, we're going to talk about the top 5 guys because those are the more realistic options in the first round at 20. That being, of course, Malik Willis, Desmond Ridder, Kenny Pickett, Matt Corral, and Sam Howell. Now, out of all these 5 quarterbacks, who do you like the most? I'm very curious.
Well, first of all, I saw all their highlights. They're all very good. The one person I think I like the most, Malik Willis. The reason why I say Malik Willis because he knows how to get out in the pocket very easily. He knows how to throw a mean deep ball. I mean, we saw like highlights at his pro day. He just threw a bomb to his wide receiver. That was amazing. And everyone went wild. And also, if there's no one open, he's just used his legs and scramble for like 10, 20, maybe like 30 yards and like get out of bounds or go into the end zone.
Yeah, it's like Malik Willis is everything we're looking for in a quarterback right now.
And everything that Colbert and Mike Tomlin have been very vocal about all offseason to the type of quarterback that they're looking for to replace Ben Roethlisberger.
Right. So, obviously he would have to sit for a year under Trubisky, as would any quarterback that we select, if we select a quarterback.
I think just in general, all the top quarterbacks in this year's draft class, I think they definitely are going to have to sit. I think all of us basically know that.
Right, but what all these quarterbacks have in common with the Steelers, with Willis, Ritter, Pickett, Corral, and Howe, what they all have in common is they have had several similar meetings with the Steelers, whether that's a Senior Bowl meeting, a combine interview. They all the Steelers attended all their pro days, obviously, and they were all pre-draft visits. The only difference with two of those guys is that they only took two of the quarterbacks out to dinner, that being Willis and Ritter. So I think the interest in those two guys are higher and greater than Pickett, Corral, and Howe. But I'm not going to roll any of them out because I don't know what's going to happen on day one. I don't know what's going to happen in the first round. People will drop. People could drop. Everyone's draft board is different. We don't know who's exactly going to be there at 20. We don't know what could fall into our laps. We don't know if the Steelers are going to make a trade up for a specific quarterback. That could be any one of these guys, man. I'm not rolling anything out. But if you had to pick, if you had to predict, who do you think, if we go quarterback, which one is going to be a Steeler? If they do go quarterback.
You know what? I'm going with Desmond Ritter.
Okay.
I think the Steelers, I think he can drop to 20. Because here's why. I think Kenny Pickett will probably go to Carolina. Mm-hmm. I can see Malik Willis go to the Lions probably. I just don't see the Steelers trading up. Now, there has been rumors and talks that there is a chance that they might trade up. But I don't think they're going to trade up to, in the top 10. I would say, in the mid to, top 15. But I just don't see them doing that. I think it's just going to stick with 20 like they did last year when they got Najee at 24. It was a great pickup. And it's going to do the same thing and see if they get Ritter as their quarterback.
Yeah, and it's very rare for the Steelers to trade up in the first round. They've done it twice under Colbert, that being for – actually, no, they've done it 3 times, I believe.
Yeah, they did for Palomalu, Tony Holmes, and Devin Bush.
Right. Obviously, a quarterback's going to cost a lot more. I think they will have an offer on the table.
If necessary.
If necessary, yes. Do they actually execute it? I do not think so. Nor do I think they should because although I like some of these quarterbacks, specifically Willis and Ritter, for me, they're my number 1 and 2. I don't think any quarterback is worthy of trading up to get. I don't. I being the fact that they're all projects and they're going to have to sit for a year or two, I don't think it's worthy of trading a lot to get this guy, to be real with you. Yeah. That's just my personal feeling. If you had to ask me, I truly believe that the position the Steelers are going to pick at 20 or wherever in the first round, it's going to be a quarterback. It just all the lines, all the dots are matching up.
Yeah, after everything that the Steelers have done this offseason and everything that they've done when it comes to pro day meetings and seeing how the players did and going to their pro days, I mean, quarterback is the main focus as of right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Just pro days and interviews and dinner. And, of course, they skipped on specific pro days to go to other quarterbacks' pro days, which is very eye-opening, man. They're not keeping it a secret, nor do the Steelers ever do, that they're going a specific guy or a specific position. So I think it's quarterback. But I also don't want to rule out any other position at the same time because maybe their certain guy doesn't fall and they go a different direction, which I wouldn't hate whatsoever because, again, I'm not the biggest fan of going quarterback. I don't mind it. I'm a lot more open to it now, seeing what they did in free agency, and I understand that it's our best chance to get a quarterback this year and have him sit and develop him to be the future. I understand that completely, but I'm still looking at other positions just in case. And the one other position that really speaks to me that could be a possibility is defensive line. Because we all know what's up with Tuitt and his injuries and his uncertainty. And, of course, Aluala's getting up there with age. Now, there's only 2 names I can really think of that could be the pick of 20 if they do go defensive line. And that's only because these 2 are the only guys that make sense for the Steelers at 20 because they went to their pro days and they've met them. And they're probably the only guys worthy of going at that pick at the defensive line position.
And they're both Georgia Bulldogs as well.
Being, of course, Jordan Davis and Devontae Wyatt. How would you feel about any of these guys on the D-line?
Yeah, I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
The only position I've been paying attention to is quarterback very often. I'm so sorry. I barely pay attention to some of these players out of the college. But But yeah, like you said, defensive linemen we definitely need because we don't know what Stephon Tuitt is going to be coming back. We don't know Tyson Alualu if he's healthy to come back. I would say Jordan Davis would be the better option for us.
Honestly, I would have to agree, and only because I don't know what's going on with Wyatt and the fact that he is apparently dropping and people were taking him off his draft boards because there was some sort of off-field issue he ran into with his family that's now creeping back up on him. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's just rumors. That's just what I've been hearing around, but I wouldn't be surprised if they back up. Plus, he is 24 years old, so that's a pretty old rookie if you were to ask me. Jordan Davis, man, of course, he's a big guy. You know, he's exactly what we need to fill the run on the defensive line. The only issue is he's not a three-down player, but he wouldn't step in, of course, day one. That is if Tuitt does come back, or if they do view Chris Wormley, who was the backup for Tuitt last year, who started in place of him, if they view him as a starter, which I believe Colbert has stated he likes Wormley a lot. So I don't want to rule out defensive line, but I'm looking at it from both sides. I understand that we don't know the uncertainty of Tuitt and Alualu and their injury concern and all that. But at the same time, I'm looking at it as maybe the Steelers are betting on Tuitt coming back. And if not, they trust Chris Wormley to fill in that gap again if needed. Because he did have 7 sacks last year.
Yeah, he definitely was a significant, I would say backup, obviously. But he significantly, game by game, he was a nice fill-in, but significantly he got better game by game, especially down the stretch of last season.
He did have a decently quiet year last year.
Yeah, he wasn't really talked about as much. Now he's nobody eye-opening or mind-blowing, but he fills in his role pretty well.
Yeah.
I think when he got traded from Baltimore to Pittsburgh, this was the right place for him to get that playing ability because of Tuitt's injury concerns,
right.
And we needed a better backup at the time. And now he's gotten that playing time last year, and I think if Tuitt doesn't come back, then he's definitely more than capable of filling in for Tuitt again.
Yeah, totally.
And I'd be more than confident in Chris Wormley.
That's the only reason why I'm not completely sold or not betting on defensive line at 20 is, of course, the quarterback situation, and that's probably the position they are absolutely viewing and absolutely going for at 20 is quarterback. But everything around, they have all the starters filled out is what Colbert has said. Outside of quarterback, potentially D-line, I don't know any other position they could select in the first round. I am going to completely rule out offensive line. They have fixed it in terms of starting-wise with Mason Cole and James Daniels. So every single one of your offensive linemen that you have now are filled-in starters. They are day one immediate starters, so I don't think they view offensive line as a serious need or as a potential best player available option. I'm going to rule out wide receiver. I don't know about you, H2O, but I'm ruling out receiver only because the Steelers, in my view, they're not going to view wide receiver as valuable in the first round knowing their success later on.
Yeah.
And, of course, quarterback is probably what they're viewing. Again, I'm going to say that again, but I think the second round is the perfect spot for us to select a wide receiver. Plus, most of the first-round wide receivers, they didn't really go to most of their pro days. They didn't go to John Dotson's pro day. They didn't go to Chris Olave's pro day. They didn't go to Drake London's pro day. They didn't go to Treylon Burks' pro day. And normally, for a first-round pick that the Steelers grab, they like to go to their pro day. I believe the last 10 to 12 years, every single one of our first-round picks, Colbert and Tomlin have been at their pro days. So if they're not at their pro days, you can rule them out completely in the first round. That's why I'm ruling out receiver, but also because their success later on, and they're going to value that rather than taking one in the first round.
Yep.
Safety, I'm going to rule that out as well, knowing that we just got Terrell Edmonds. However, there is a slight, very, 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 very slight possibility that a guy like Kyle Hamilton drops. That's been rumored the last 2 weeks because of his 40 time and his pro day. I feel like that's absolutely ludicrous. A talent like Kyle Hamilton is just...
You don't let that man drop.
No, I mean, you're talking about arguably the best player overall in this entire draft class.
Yeah, and because of a slower 40-yard run time that Kyle Hamilton ran, you're just going to let him drop out of the top 10 or just fall into the top 20?
That's idiotic. Best player available could also be an Andrew Booth. I'm not going to rule corner out. They did go to Clemson's pro day, so I could see them potentially grabbing an Andrew Booth if a specific guy at quarterback isn't there that they like so much. So they could go corner, maybe. But I'm sold on them going quarterback. Would you agree, H2O?
Absolutely. I think most reasonable thing they would do is go quarterback in the first round. But to be truthful, if Kyle Hamilton somehow drops to 20 and they just picks him off the board, I will be in shock because I don't think I'm going to be off topic here. I didn't think Kyle Hamilton 40 time was that slow for a guy who's like 6'4", 220 pounds for a safety. I don't know why. I would understand why they would say he might drop because of that, but I don't see him dropping all the way down to 20. But like you said, like defensive D-tackle, like I'm not really too worried about that. Corner, wide receiver, we can get that later on in the draft, like second, third, maybe a fourth rounder. I would say I would agree with you both. Quarterback would be a reasonable go and answer to do in the draft on Thursday.
Yeah, I think that's just a position they're absolutely zoning in on. I could be wrong. This could all be a smokescreen. Shout out to Cold Steel. He's been thinking this could be all a smokescreen to get a defensive player to force a defensive player to drop that they could grab. That could be a Hamilton. That could be an Andrew Booth. That could be a Jordan Davis. I don't know, man. You see, man, we never truly know what's going on in the draft room, in the war room, and that will only be found out on Thursday night.
And every year for the NFL draft, it's always unpredictable. There's going to be certain players that are going to drop, or there's going to be like random mind-blowing trades that are going to happen, and some guys are going to be taken over this guy, the typical draft stuff that happens every year. So we don't really know what's going to happen until we see what happens Thursday night.
And that's the exciting part about the draft, man, is you truly never know what's going to go down, especially when you look at the top 10 this year. I mean, any one of these guys could be selected at any spot. I mean, I'm hearing Trayvon Walker could be the first overall pick. I'm hearing Kyle Hamilton could be the first overall pick. I'm hearing the Jags could trade. I mean, anything is possible. So in relation to the Steelers at 20, some of these players could drop and they could snag them and get potential steals. That could be a Davis, a Booth, a Hamilton, a Malik Willis, maybe a Desmond Ridder. Now, I know some of you guys don't feel very keen on Desmond Ridder at 20. I personally don't think he is a first-rounder, but I see no way he gets out of the first round.
No.
To be real with you.
And if it forces the Steelers to select the guy, because I don't even see them trading back. Would I like them to,
Colbert's never done that.
Yeah, well, at least he hasn't done that since when Casey Hampton was drafted, which I think was like 2001. But that was a while ago.
21 years ago.
That was a while ago, and I don't think Colbert's going to do that again. Would I like to hope that they kind of, think about that? Of course, but I don't think they do. I think they stay where they are, and if they have to reach for a guy like Desmond Ridder, then so be it. As long as they get their guy.
That's how they feel, man. And I would support them because I do like a guy like Ridder. Is he a reach at 20? Yes, I agree. But I do like a guy like Ridder, but there's no way they're going to get him at 52. They could trade up into the second round to potentially get him, but I don't know how much capital they're going to want to give away when they already don't have as much capital. And are they going to want to trade next year's capital? Although that could be in relation to them potentially trading up into the first round this year to get one of their guys, specifically a Malik Willis. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what they're going to do in the first round. I do feel like it will be a quarterback. I can tell you that. But Jesse says Mason Cole isn't really starting material, in my honest opinion. I wouldn't disagree, Jesse, but because of his contract, he is going to be the starting center. I would imagine so.
Yeah, definitely.
To me, Mason Cole is more of a...
Although I've heard James Daniels may be the center, or they may see, who the better center is when it comes to Daniels and Cole and see how Kendrick Green's development at center has done. I really don't know. I really don't know. But I would have to imagine Cole's going to be the center and Daniels is going to be the right guard.
Yeah, that's exactly how I'd line it up. Cole to me reminds me of a much younger, much better upgrade of like a BJ Finney or J.C. Hazen newer. But I don't disagree, Jesse, but I do feel like he's going to be the starting center for sure. At least he's competition for Kendrick Green. That's more than what we could say from last year.
And that's something, Kendrick Green did not have that. He was gifted the freaking role. A third-round rookie, and he was gifted the starting center job, replacing Marquise Pouncey immediately.
Right. Corey Flores with a $10 super chat says, all love. I appreciate it, Corey. Shout out to you, man. Steel Rick says, any thoughts on Baker Mayfield? H2L, how do you feel about Baker Mayfield coming to Pittsburgh? I really want to hear your opinion on this.
The name just makes me laugh now. Listen, I feel okay. I don't know how many Steelers fans are gonna hate me for this.
Okay.
Truly, I feel bad for Baker Mayfield. What the Browns did to him, saying we're not gonna get Deshaun Watson. Then a couple hours later, they got Deshaun Watson for 5-year, $230 million deal they gave him. Mm-hmm. First of all, I think that's too much for him, for a guy who haven't played for a year. To be truthful, I was thinking maybe we can take him, but then at the same time, it's no, I think it'll be better if we draft a quarterback because, let's be honest here, I just don't want Baker Mayfield near Pittsburgh anymore. Honestly, I'm still very mad what happened in the 2020 playoffs.
Yeah,
we're not gonna go back to that dark days. I just don't see him coming to Pittsburgh. I really don't. I can see him going to either Seattle or Carolina. Hell, maybe the Lions.
Yeah, I can tell.
Maybe the.
You can finish.
Oh, no, I'm done. Sorry, I'm just...
But I agree completely. I feel like he should go to the NFC. He'll have much more success. He is not going to survive in this huge sea of sharks, what we call an AFC quarterback room, man. Like, it's not going to work for Baker in the AFC. Coming to Pittsburgh makes absolutely zero sense. We already signed Trubisky to be the gap guy for now. And we got Mason as the backup, and we're probably going to draft a quarterback. So, where the hell does Baker fit? Nowhere. I don't know why people keep saying that Pittsburgh's going to immediately bring him up if the Browns release him. No, they're not. It makes no sense, nor do I want it to happen. Baker Mayfield, listen, it is messed up what happened to him in Cleveland. They really did him dirty.
Yeah, and I really feel bad for Baker Mayfield in this moment. I really do.
But the truth is, he sucks. And I don't want that in Pittsburgh, bro.
The moment he is relied on, he chokes.
Yes.
He collapses. He falls apart.
Exactly.
Just look at that week 1 last year, week 1 against the Kansas City Chiefs on the Browns' last drive. Baker Mayfield had to be relied on. He threw an interception.
Let him go to Seattle, man. Let him go to Carolina, like H2O said, man. Take him to the NFC. Maybe he'll find success there. Maybe a change of scenery is what he needs. But that change of scenery is not, will not, and better not be in the Steel City. Let me tell you that. Plus, TJ Watt, man, I don't know. I don't think he'd welcome him in the in the locker room. Come on.
TJ Watt would toy with him in practice. Like, my God. And the NFC needs credible names. Like, I'm just saying.
Baker Mayfield to Pittsburgh is a big X to me. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay, speaking of quarterbacks, did the Ravens, let's just go to the Ravens. Did the Ravens give Lamar Jackson a contract? Because I know he does not have another contract. Or they just gave him like a 5th-year option.
I believe it was the 5th-year option. I have not heard anything of an extension. I don't know what's going on with that. I imagine he's going to get it. He's going to get a huge amount. I'm sure he'll be one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. When that happens, I don't know. But I believe he's still playing under the 5th year.
See, in my Madden, I know which team that they would take Baker Mayfield. The Vikings.
Really?
I can honestly see the Vikings give him the backup job, give Kirk Cousins another year of a start, then get rid of Kirk Cousins and give Baker Mayfield a year and see what he can do.
Maybe.
But would he be willing to take that?
I mean, maybe.
Baker Mayfield will take anything at this point.
That wouldn't surprise me one bit. The Vikings are the team that did trade a first-round pick for Sam Bradford a couple years ago.
But they also just extended and gave a huge pay raise for Kirk Cousins.
But what he said, after this season.
After the season, maybe, yeah. But what does Baker do? Does he sit out?
He may be forced to. He may be forced to.
Here's the thing. He's under the 5th-year option.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the Browns' fault. They exercised it.
The Browns would have to pay him. So Baker,
that's it. Then that's the Browns' fault.
But Baker could sit. Obviously. But the Browns wouldn't want to pay him just to sit at home.
Well, the Browns' asking price, no one's going to trade for what the Browns are going to want.
I would probably agree, unless there's a very desperate team, which I'm sure there is. But let's say Baker is cut by the Browns and he's a free agent. What does he do then? How many teams are going to line up?
That's yet to be seen.
How many teams are going to line up for Baker?
That's yet to be seen. We don't really know what's going to happen with Baker. It's just speculation at this point from all of us.
Just please don't let it be in Pittsburgh. For the love of God, don't let it happen in Pittsburgh.
We do not want him.
Yeah, thank
No
you.
shot.
Thank you, Paper, man. Like I do not want this guy in Pittsburgh. I don't. I'd rather trust a trash can, to be real with you. I mean,
what are you talking about? Baker is a trash can.
Yeah, what's the difference, if I'm being real with you? Paper, I'm glad you joined us, man. When you look at what the Steelers could select at 20, who are you aiming for, realistically?
Well, I think the easy answer is Malik Willis, but I don't think he makes it at 20. So if we're talking strictly at 20, if Corral's there, that's who I would go with. But I think Sam Howell's a really underrated name, or Desmond Ridder, but I prefer Sam Howell. I know a lot of people don't like him. I know a lot of people think he's bad, but I think he's 21 years old. He's got a great arm. He's really athletic, and I think at 20, if Corral and Willis are gone, I would not mind taking him. But you can also look at Ridder. He's another option there.
Yeah, I could totally see Howell being a true option because, I mean, I now this may be a huge wishful thinking, and this is a spoiler alert for our next mock coming out on Tuesday. I have a suspicion that Malik could drop to 20. I do. However, I could be wrong. I probably will be wrong, to be real with you. So I could see how being a realistic possibility because obviously similar to Ridder and Willis and Corral, they've met with most of these guys several times and had meetings and dinners and combine interviews and pre-draft visits. So I'm not ruling any quarterback out, man. But it's just a matter of who they have higher on their draft board.
Or who's really, could be remaining at 20.
Now, me personally, yeah, I agree with you. Ideally, it's Malik. That's the guy. That's the dream, man. Just like last year was Najee, that's the dream this year is Malik Willis. At least for us. I don't want to speak for everyone here. But my number 2, and I've said it in Discord, I know some of you guys disagree, but my number 2 would be Malik. My number 3 would be Corral. My number 4 would be Howell. I'm completely rolling out Pickett because I'm not drafting a 24-year-old quarterback to sit for a year. It just makes no sense.
No, I completely agree. with that.
It just makes no sense. Like Kenny Pickett, I feel like Kenny Pickett might be doomed, man, because he's a guy that's gonna have to sit, but I don't know if a team's gonna be willing to do that because of his age. That might trap him.
And his ceiling isn't as high as these other guys.
Exactly. I don't know, man. Pickett, he might be a disaster pick. I think he goes to Carolina.
Yeah, I do too. That's where I think
number
he's
6,
go.
Absolutely. I think Matt Rule takes a risk on him.
Well, he recruited him to Temple before Pickett ultimately chose Pittsburgh.
So that connection back then. So yeah,
that's one of my reasons why I think Malik could drop. But again, I could be wrong. Outside of quarterback, do you see any other position the Steelers could take, or do you just think they're eyeing quarterback?
Well, I think quarterback's got to be the number 1, but if we had to go another position, I think it would have to be receiver. I think this class is pretty stacked. You got Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Jamison Williams, Drake London, Jahan Dotson. So if it's not QB, we do have options at receiver, but I would probably trade down in that scenario and then gather up more picks.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't think they go receiver in the first round. Obviously, they haven't done it since.
No, I don't either. No.
And I think you would agree is that they don't value first-round receivers because of the success later.
I mean, you can't deny the talent that is there around the Steelers selection.
Oh, I'm taking those guys over any day 2 guys.
Oh, but same here.
Yeah. But especially with Diontae Johnson. I don't know what's going on with him and the contract situation.
But hey, the Steelers have great success with day 2 selections at wide receiver. So. Right. I can't really see, although I love the talent in the first round for wide receiver, I just don't think they even take a look at it.
But for you guys, what other positions do you think they don't take a look at? Like, what positions do you think that you're going to completely just roll out right here, right now?
Well, I know some people have, are still interested in it, but I'd have to roll out linebacker because I think Miles Jack and Devin Bush, I'm confident in that group, and I think that there's just no reason to get another linebacker when we have 2 young guys who have something to prove with Brian Flores.
Wait, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
I would say, linebacker would not be, a good, we just rolled that out. Like he said, Miles Jack and Devin Bush. If Devin Bush comes back in his 2019 form, oh, my God, I think we'll be fine.
That defense, man, is looking really ferocious right now, let me tell you.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Every position is literally filled in. Every starter's filled in.
That's the beauty part, and that's what gives us the ability, the flexibility to go quarterback at 20, which I think we all agree that's the position they are absolutely circling is quarterback. It's just a matter of who, man, and that depends on who's available.
I just look back at what the Steelers did in free agency, man, and shout out to Cold Steel because he told this to me. The Steelers basically got what they needed in free agency. The draft is just a bonus.
Draft is a big bonus. And Colbert has lined this up to be able to go anywhere at any round, man. And that's a great thing, is that we have so much flexibility anywhere in the draft.
Exactly. You can go literally anywhere. Your potential future quarterback, or you can get significant depth at receiver or edge or defensive line, linebacker, whatever. You know?
Oh, I can't wait, man. See,
like you really can't go wrong with where the Steelers are potentially going to go.
You see, this is why I'm excited for the draft, but more so now because this is one of the few years where I do, but I don't know exactly where they're going to go. I have a good hunch of where they're going in the first round, but the second, third, fourth, sixth, seventh round, I'm lost. And I think that's a good way to look at it because they could go anywhere. But I think we ought to get into a Diontae Johnson talk since you mentioned receiver. How do you feel about Diontae and the contract talk going on, man?
Yeah, well, I'm obviously not super happy that we haven't tried to lock him up with the receiver market right now, and I think that we're not. I think we're going to wait until after the season, which is even worse. But I mean, worst case scenario, you tag him and you try to get a contract done. But I do think he'll be with us for at least 2 more years because you got to use the franchise tag on him if he doesn't get re-signed.
They definitely will if obviously because he's coming to last year of his rookie contract, so they'll definitely use the franchise tag to extend contract talks.
Yeah,
I agree, man. They absolutely should have locked him up before all this negotiating, before all this wide receiver extending and trading, which was probably the most beneficial position all offseason. Beneficial for some of the talent, not beneficial for teams like us that got to extend guys like Johnson.
Yeah.
What do you think is his market? I personally wouldn't pay him more than 17.
I would pay him upwards of like $20 million, but I suspect that he's going to want something like 22 to 25 million. And then you got to consider trading him or moving on from him because that's a ton of money.
Yeah, especially
and
for.
He's not bad, but yeah.
I was going to say, especially for a position that, the Steelers just succeed so well at. So will they toss that much money for something we can replace so well? Now, I don't want to say we can easily replace Johnson. His skill set is very underrated.
It's very AB-like. It really is. Like, his upside is, I don't think he's the next AB, but his upside is up there with AB.
Right. I agree, but GT Show says, with a $19.99 super chat, says, yo, what's up, Twins? How do I get in on this chat? Just join the VC in Discord, bro. It's Draft Talk. Anyone is free to join in the Discord tonight, man. We can talk about the first round and who you guys think could be the first-round pick because it's an open discussion, man. Now, I think we are all focused on quarterback, but I want to hear some of you guys' other opinions, man, because who knows? Maybe we don't go quarterback. Maybe we do go D-line. Maybe we do go safety if someone drops. Maybe corner. Maybe we actually do go receiver and surprises the hell out of me. I don't know, man. Colbert could go out any way possible. Speaking of GT, I think you just joined. What's good, GT? Is that GT?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's him.
Nasty Nestor, bro. What's good, bro? Electric Visuals, I got you on Twitter. Give me a minute.
I will add, though, I do think that one position that we should absolutely go, I would 100% take our running back round 4 because of this class. It's really stacked in the late day 2, early day 3, and I think a guy that I really, really like is Pierre Strong. He's from a non-Power 5 school, but he absolutely destroyed his competition, and he's fast. He ran a 4.37, and I think he's like 5'11", 200 pounds, but he's got a good size, and I think he'd be a great compliment to Najee.
I agree completely. I love Pierre Strong for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Another guy I really like is Ty Chandler from North Carolina. He's another really good speedy back with receiving ability. I think that's what you really need. That's what the Steelers need in the backfield is a speedy back with receiving ability, and that's what those two possess. I agree. The running back class for day 3 is very stacked. I'm not for day 3 backs just knowing our history, but we have to take one this year because I'm not trusting Benny Snell again or Anthony McFarland. That's just me.
No, definitely not. And
Yeah.
I think this year's running back class in the later rounds, day 3, I think it's an exception because a lot of guys have a lot of capability to be that nice quality depth piece that we desperately need behind Najee.
I could honestly see that just being like a Connor Hayward. I could see them valuing him as a running back too. I would not be surprised one bit if they draft Hayward and just make him the running back too. Because honestly, he's obviously too small to play tight end. He could be moved out as a slot receiver, but him as a running back too, in goal line situations or as a receiving threat, I think that's his best ability, and I think that's what the Steelers will eye as well.
You know what? I look at how Connor Hayward played when I was watching this film, and I'm like, this is what Jalen Samuels should have been.
Yeah.
Because Jalen Samuels, he was like a tight end, receiver, running back type of, utility hybrid type of player that he was supposed to be in the NFL that would try to experiment with him. He didn't do anything.
Outside of one game, which was obviously the Patriots game.
And thank you, Jalen Samuels, for that game, but ever since, he didn't show up.
Man, that Patriots game was something. Hayden got that pick. Samuels had the game of his life. That was something.
It was something. Last time we faced the Patriots, we beat them.
Yeah, now we got to face Tom Brady again in Pittsburgh this year.
Hashtag Tom Brady to the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Equals Sean Payton.
Yeah. That was almost a thing, man. Dolphins almost traded.
Dolphins were willing to trade all that.
They were desperate, man. They were desperate. Steel Cannon on Twitter put, and I think, Paper, you'll agree with this because I know you've been pretty vocal about Jordan Davis. He says, hot NFL draft take. Jordan Davis is the most overrated player in the draft. Yes, he is a generational talent at stopping the run, but he absolutely has no effect in the pass rush. He had 30 pressures as a whole in 4 years. Aiden Hutchinson had half of that in one game. Yes, I understand that's not his game, but if you're going to be drafted, it should be because I don't want to take a guy who is a one-trick pony and he plays 40% of his snaps because he gets too gassed out. And after that, he is absolutely useless. That's why Alabama destroyed Georgia because of hurry-up offense. Still, Cannon, I agree. Paper, how do you feel about that? Because I know you've been vocal about Davis for the last couple months.
No, he just hit. I mean, he hit all the points. I mean, Jordan Davis, yeah, he can stop the run, and I think a lot of Steelers fans look at that and they're like, we need this, but the problem is he doesn't do anything else. And offenses are going to find out in the NFL if Jordan Davis, if he starts to become an issue at stopping the run, they're just going to run hurry-up offense, and after about 5 plays, he's going to be useless. And so I don't think he's going to be effective and I would not take him at 20. I think I would not.
Yeah. So that's kind of another reason why I'm ruling out D-line is the whole Devontae Wyatt and his rumors about domestic stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, Jordan Davis is just, not a day or not a 3-down guy.
Yeah, an every down guy.
Could he drop? Like, say he does drop because of that, right? Would you take him in the second round?
Yeah, if he makes it to 52, I would be comfortable taking him at 52 because I think at that point, you're not really asking for a 3-down starter. You're just getting a guy who can stop the run. I think, yeah, I would take him then. I would be okay with that, just not 20.
Yeah, I think that's a little more comfortable in the second round for sure.
To which I could actually see. I really could.
GT Show says, with a 499 super chat says, it's got me auto-muted. How do I fix this?
Auto-muted.
No idea. Hold on, give me a minute. Why are you you're a moderator, bro. How are you auto-muted? That makes no sense. Is it your mic, bro? Check your mic.
It's not in settings, right?
No, it's not in settings.
That's weird.
It should be in settings.
He should be able to unmute himself if he's a mod.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah. Hey, Renegade, what's good, bro? Shout out to the Renegade 412 and OG. He says Devin Lloyd from Utah, bro. You want a linebacker. You don't like Bush? You want to replace a Devin with a Devin?
A better Devin, I would say that. Devin Lloyd's a beast, I will say that.
Yeah, he is. Probably the top linebacker of this class, man.
More than likely, I think is. I have to agree.
Shout out to Renegade, man. Good to see you in the chat, bro. How you been, man? It's been a while since we talked.
It's been a long time. Huge shout out to the Renegade 412, man.
Devin Lloyd. Imagine that, man. Imagine that. Were they at Utah's pro day? I don't think they were.
No, I don't believe they were.
I don't think either.
Yeah.
Jesse says Tyler Linderbaum at 20. I'm ruling him out.
Yeah, I mean, that's no longer a fantasy for me anymore. Months ago, he was
the center spot.
Yeah, months ago he was my number one guy. Now he's not even. He's not even on my mind.
Yeah, 2 months ago I would have been like, yeah, Linderbaum, center from Iowa. But like Paper said, we're set. We got our starting center. We got a position battle there. We fixed line. Line is not a need in terms of starters. So, Linderbaum, man, it was a dream 2 months ago, but that dream was crushed very, very quickly. And honestly, that's a good thing because, I mean, we fixed the line, and now we can focus on other positions. So good on Cobra for that, man. GT says, I'm suppressed. Suppressed. You should not. See, how are you muted, but these other guys aren't? That makes no sense.
Yeah, that's weird.
That is very weird. Because I'm clicking your name, it doesn't even give me an option like mute you or unmute you.
That is very strange.
It might be your settings, man. Check your settings, bro. Steelers Cards 42 says Charles Cross. There's no way he gets out of the top 20. Top 15.
I don't think he makes it past Seattle.
Really?
No.
That's where I have him going.
Yeah, bro, Seattle needs a tackle, man.
Yeah, you're right.
Wouldn't that be some fucked up shit to Russell Wilson, though? Like,
really would.
long time he's been with Seattle with no offensive line, but now they want to go offensive line once they finally trade him?
That's another reason why I think Malik could drop. I don't think Seattle's going quarterback.
No,
There was actually a report. There was actually a report I saw that the Seattle is considering trading back into the first round for QB. So I don't think they're going to touch QB at 9, which is good for us.
Well, you know
interesting.
what? I mean, they got the haul from Denver, so I could see it.
But there's many teams with extra picks that could absolutely trade back. So, I mean, I don't know, man. This first round's going to be absolutely chaotic. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know what's going to happen.
It's going to be fun.
But I don't know.
Hey, days leading up to the draft, we're going to be hearing a lot of rumors.
A lot of
That's
rumors, man.
for sure.
A lot of talks, a lot of rumors, a lot of trades. If the Steelers were to have to trade up in the first round, bro, who would you want them to trade up for, regardless to position?
Oh, if we're going to trade up, I think the only player that you trade up for is Malik Willis. I don't think you can really trade up for anyone else.
Really? Not even a Kyle Hamilton?
See, the problem I have with trading up for like a non-QB is if you give up future draft picks, like next year we have 6 picks. Mm-hmm. So if we're giving up like a third round pick next year for a non-QB, it limits us on our options next year.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Plus, it depends
But
on
if Kyle Hamilton did fall to 20, then you obviously could pull the trigger on him if you don't like any of the QBs.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But let's be real, he's not dropping.
No shot.
No shot.
No, there's no way in hell.
I'm even hearing maybe the Steelers get Derek Stingley at 20. There's no way he gets out of the top 10, in my opinion.
No, I've seen reports saying the Texans are looking at him at 3. So
wow. This is nuts, man.
I can see that too. I can absolutely see Stingley being taken over Gardner.
yeah, I could.
It'd be like a Raiders move when they took that Alabama tackle, who's now their guard. Over
Leatherwood.
They took Leatherwood over Carousel.
That was funny.
Oh my God.
I could absolutely see a lot of that happening.
See, I always thought Leatherwood was going to drop today too, but no, Mike Mayock thought different.
And now he's.
I'm gonna miss the Raiders drafts. I'm really gonna miss them.
Well,
those are fun.
What team's going to replace them this year? Because there's going to be one very questionable pick at some point, maybe a few. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Seahawks reach on people because they have
yeah.
I was gonna say, who's their GM? Snyder?
Yeah, he's not good.
No, I mean he reaches all the time. I wouldn't be surprised if they reach on a linebacker.
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to bring that up.
Good. Leo Chanel at 9.
Leo Chanel. Oh, I could see that. I could see that absolutely, man. I'm not even joking. I'm not even rolling that out. Yeah, GT, I don't know what the issue is, man. I'm editing the chat, or editing the channel. You should have permission. You do have permission. Hold on, let me see something. Oh, wait, my fault. Never mind. Okay, you're fixed. Oh, see, why does Discord do that? Discord, you're stupid. Why does Discord do that?
So glitchy sometimes.
Because I created the chat and I go under moderators and it says speak and it's on the X. Like, why would I X the moderators from speaking?
That's stupid.
GT, you should be able to speak now, bro. GT.
He probably has to unmute himself.
Yeah. GT, if you can hear us, I'd exit and come back in. You should be able to chat now. He should be able to.
There we go.
There he is. GT, what's good, man?
Let's fucking go.
See, now you can talk.
No, my fucking God. I'm just sitting here fucking brain aneurysm trying to figure out why the fuck this wasn't working.
Hey, at least you're here now. Now I got to ask you the question, man.
Oh, God.
Who do you think they're going to take at 20?
At 20? I don't think we're taking anyone. We're trading up.
Oh.
I think we're going. I think we're trading the number 10. We're taking Malik Willis. To be honest, I think we have to.
Really?
Yeah. I personally think there's no other option for us anymore. It's not like we have 3 quarterbacks like we did.
Bust. I like it.
because May Askins or RIP, obviously. Gotta pay respects to him. But we don't have 3 quarterbacks anymore. And do you expect us just to sit around and be like, hey, Mitch, here you go, have fun, go, Yeah. So I think we kind of have to at least take it, and Malik is the best option available at that time. So
see, again, this just might be all wishful thinking, and it probably is. I'm probably very foolish of myself. I think he could drop at 20, man.
I don't know. The main team that I can see selecting him is probably the Saints, considering what they gave up.
Yeah, the Saints worried me. They really worried me at 16.
They got 2 picks now. One of them is literally right before us.
Well, I think if I'm being real with you, man, I think Matt Corral is a very perfect fit for the Saints. I'm
going to be honest with you. I'm going to be blatantly honest with you. I think you're just trying to convince yourself.
I agree with that. Yeah, I have to agree with that.
I think you're just trying to convince yourself so that it makes sense, so we can end up getting Malik Willis.
That's 80%.
But Malik Willis is the number 1 quarterback in this draft. So if you move past him,
not league wide. Not league wide.
Not league wide. I think
by the media he is.
Do people still think Kenny Pickett's the number 1 quarterback? So they are. That's stupid, all right?
No, teams definitely do. No. I think Ritter is a lot higher on NFL team sports than the media. I think he's going to be a first rounder. I wouldn't take it over Howell or any of those guys, but he'll probably go round 1.
I personally would take him over Howell or even a Corral. I know, don't kill me for that, but that's just my opinion. But I don't think he's a first rounder. I don't think most of these quarterbacks are first rounders.
No, I definitely think a lot of these guys are going to be overdrafted, but I can understand why they would be overdrafted. You know what I mean? It's because of the positions that some of these teams have. They have fill-in bridge guys, and these guys are definitely going to have to sit. But I just don't see them falling because quarterback's obviously going to be a main need.
Right.
And every year, there's obviously going to be people that are going to be overdrafted. I think just about all these quarterbacks are going to be overdrafted. But when it comes to the Steelers and how Mike Tomlin feels about Malik Willis or even Desmond Ridder, if he's forced to trade up just to make sure he gets their guy, because if he's that in love with that prospect, I think he will do it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's hard for me to see the Steelers trade up because they don't do it.
They don't.
Yeah, I can't see it. I can't see it either. But
the last time we traded was for Devin Bush. So maybe that plays in a little bit, considering how Devin Bush is turning out.
Mm-hmm. He hasn't really given much of a shot yet, for what it's worth. I still think he deserves another year.
Yeah, I agree. And plus, I think we've all seen that clip of him on Twitter, man. Keep in mind, he didn't get that chance last year with rehab and camp and all that.
That's true.
Because he started on the PUP list, I believe. So seeing him actually be able to move, and the knee looks fine, and he's fluid, he's fast, he's exactly what we trade up for. I hope he absolutely comes out and has a redemption year.
And I think him being beside a guy like Miles Jack, who's still very young, very experienced, a former Pro Bowler, a very underrated leader at that too, and a magnificent play caller. I think that will do wonders for Devin Bush, as well as Brian Flores being our assistant linebackers and defensive assistant coach.
Renegade says we don't have to trade up and take Malik Willis. Renegade does not want a quarterback, man. Renegade does not want a quarterback.
Hey, a lot of people don't, and I can respect those takes. I really can. I can understand those takes.
That would not be my first option. Paper, I know that would be yours, but for me that would not. But I'm very much open to it now compared to what I was 2 months ago, because they did what I wanted them to do, and thank God they did. Credit to Colbert and them on that. Anthony asked, would y'all be chill if we did draft Pickett? I would not. I am off the Pickett train.
You can't take him over a lot of these other QBs, and it doesn't make any sense because he'd have to sit a year, and he'd be 25 in his first year that he played.
There at number 2, and you don't take him at take your quarterback number 1. That's the only time you take him is if he falls to pick 52, and even then, he's got to be best player available.
I will say something about I personally believe if you don't think a QB is worth a first round pick, you shouldn't even bother taking them in round 2. I'm off on taking QBs outside of the first round.
I agree, because very rarely do you find success, that's the proper grammar word. Rarely do you find success at quarterback at day 2. Russell Wilson is a huge exception. There's been a few exceptions, honestly.
Derek Carr is a big exception.
Derek Carr.
This looks decent, but we still need to see more from him. But he's look okay.
Right, but there's not a lot of success in day two quarterback, so there's no point. There's absolutely 0 point. That's why I think they are absolutely point blank sold on quarterback in the first round. Although Renegade, I agree, run the ball. I agree. I'm not sold on Cole as a starter just from what I've seen in him in Minnesota, but I'm willing to give him a chance. And plus, with the contract, he's going to be the center. I got to put my wishes aside and understand that what they gave him, they're going to give him the starting job.
Yeah.
So I have to put everything else aside and understand what they're doing and what they're looking at from a team aspect. So that's how I'm viewing the draft this year is would I prefer other needs, would I prefer other players? Absolutely. But I know that they already are sold on most of these guys being starters. Most of the stars are already filled. They're just looking at the future.
Yeah.
They are looking at the future of their franchise. Ben's retired. You're going to have a guy sit this year, which is the best chance because you can get a guy at 20, which is very rare to get a franchise quarterback at 20, and have him sit for a year and fill them in. And I think that's the best recipe this year. Renegade says, I think we should trade for A.J. Brown. I mean...
Yeah, I can't agree with that because I don't think you can give a first and a second-round pick for A.J. Brown because then you just have to pay him, and then you can't pay Diontae.
Well, you would trade Diontae with him. You would trade Diontae with him.
Diontae for A.J. Brown?
That's what you would do.
I would have to imagine if that trade were to go down, they swap receivers and some draft picks for sure.
Yeah, that's what would go down. But again, you would have to.
But it's like you might as well just pay the guys you got now.
Oh yeah, that's the point.
Exactly. It doesn't make much sense to do that.
That's the point Paper's making is if you swap wide receivers, you're still gonna have to pay the receiver big money, which that in itself is hard for me to see the Steelers do.
Yeah.
Just based on the success of the position. So I would love A.J. Brown with the Steelers, but I doubt that's gonna happen. And again, you're just gonna have to pay the position big anyway. Oh, Renegade would trade Claypool. Then you're having two $20+ million wide receivers, man. You're looking like the Chargers. You understand that, Renegade?
We wouldn't be able to keep both of them. It would have to be A.J. Brown over Diontae.
Yeah. Woof. Renegade, bro. I would love that. Diontae and A.J., bro.
Dude, that's a
dirty.
dangerous-ass duo. Like, holy shit.
But you are...
Oh, that would be.
You are sacrificing a lot of cap for a position that the Steelers probably aren't going to pay that much. Now,
let's be realistic. I think the Steelers' best chance is just drafting wide receivers. I mean, that's what we do all the time.
Yeah.
And
for
the most part, it works out great. I mean, for a few exceptions here and there, but
they draft and replace. I mean, that's what they're doing with Juju now.
Yeah,
and it works. I mean, think about all the names, the household names of wide receivers that have come through the Pittsburgh Steelers team through their draft. I mean, all the way back down to the 70s.
Yeah.
So,
and it's rare nowadays for them to keep the receivers long term.
Right.
There's only a handful of guys.
I think the next guy's coming, day two, unless a steal comes there that we can't just pass up.
Electric Visuals asks, "Where's Debo going?" I have no clue. I'm hearing the Jets.
Yeah, I think the Jets are going to trade Big Ten for him.
Really?
He's either going to New York, to Green Bay, or he's going to Kansas City.
I could see Green Bay. Actually, I can't see Green Bay because 49ers are going to trade him within the conference.
Yeah, it'll be the Jets or the Chiefs, but I'm leaning towards the Jets because I think they'll throw Big Ten at him.
If you give Mahomes Debo, man, that's not fair.
That would be dangerous.
That would be. But listen, that's something that the Jets need. And although he's a defensive coach, he has former connections to San Francisco with the Jets coach. Robert.
It just makes complete sense.
It does.
It makes all the sense.
And by God, dude, they were willing to trade everything for Tyreek Hill. So I know for a fact they're going to do it with Debo.
Actually, they weren't willing because they didn't want to trade.
They wanted to get pick 35 and 38.
Yeah, remember? They
weren't willing. I completely got.
They didn't want to trade a first for Tyreek. Which I don't know why.
Well, for Debo,
I think the Chiefs were willing to accept it because they knew that Tyreek wouldn't play unless he got traded, and so why waste all that potential? Not waste it, but why? And then Tyreek obviously just chose Miami because taxes. That's the only reason why he didn't choose New York or New Jersey in this case.
Yeah, really. Nightfall.
Because Florida doesn't have like a state tax or whatnot, like a property tax.
Yeah.
And New Jersey. So why would you want to pay taxes on your property if you can go to a state that doesn't have to do that?
Yeah, pretty much. Mm-hmm. Nightfall says, how do you feel about Matt Canada going into this season? I'm going to leave that to you guys, man.
I'm willing to give him another chance with Trubisky and whatever rookie QB we get. But if he doesn't give us a decent offense this year, he's out. Like this is his last chance.
Quarterback. I think his offense is built around a different type of QB. I think Big Ben was just there, and he was just trying to build it against what Big Ben was. And it's not like you were going to replace Big Ben during his final season. Now the Steelers have that respect aspect. So while I do think if he doesn't do anything, he should be removed. Which is, it's harsh to say. We've gone through how many different offensive coordinators in the past 5 years. I'd rather us find one that can be stick and just stay there, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'd also rather us not hire within the organization again. That would be
Mike Sullivan should not be touching OC.
Yeah.
No.
I think anything, and if this offense goes the same way as last year, he needs to go. Matt Canada needs to go. He does not do anything.
Yeah, I wasn't sold on bringing him back this year. I just feel like I understand he was very handcuffed last year with the O-line and Ben. I get it. I totally get it, and I hope there's an upgrade this year. There has to be an upgrade this year. It can't get any worse, to be real with you. But the play calling is still what I lean on. It was atrocious. Now, that may have been due to the fact that he was handcuffed, is he couldn't get as creative because he didn't have the talent around him. Now, of course, he will. But I agree, man. If he doesn't give us a decent offense, at least a top 15 offense, and by that I mean if it's not ranked at least 15, he's out for me because
I agree.
It's just not going to cut it. Now with this defense, it's not going to work.
We'll see what Matt Canada does for sure, but I'm only going to have a size of a grain of salt of optimism for Matt Canada.
Yeah, I get it. But all we can do is remain optimistic.
Yeah. I think also partially is the fact Big Ben was probably calling a lot of the plays because they gave him part of that respect factor is here. You're the veteran. They kind of clipped Matt Canada in that way, and Matt Canada was probably trying to do something, but Mike Tomlin was like, no. Because, Big Ben.
I don't really know, man.
So it'd be very interesting to see.
It will be interesting to see.
I'm hoping, a lot more play. Hopefully the future is bright, not dim.
We shall see, man. The draft is just 4 days away, 4 nights away, and 4 nights from now, we could very well find out who the next Pittsburgh Steeler is. That's insane, man. 4 days from this time now, man, we could be on the clock. Or we could still be waiting because these teams take forever. I don't know. Yeah, one of the two. Edwin says Sky Moore or George Pickens in the second round would be great. Edwin says Sky Moore or George Pickens in the second round would be great. I would love either of those guys, man. Sky Moore's my guy. That is my guy this year. Out of any player,
I love Sky Moore.
That's my dude in the second. I don't know if he drops. I'm gonna be hopeful again, but that's my guy, bro.
I can see Scott dropping, but much. Second round, first round, but I just take the fifth.
In fact, where do you guys see us actually going receiver? Because I'm gonna roll out first round, me personally, but I want to hear your guys' opinion.
I think it'll be day 2. Probably, I would prefer round 2. Because I think there's a bunch of receivers that are going to be there in the second round that are going to be really good.
It just makes sense. That's a sweet spot for a slot weapon for us.
Yeah, it always is.
Steelers always take their receivers round 2. The amount of receivers in the past 5 years we've taken in round 2 is, I think outside of last year, I think every other year before that we've taken a wide receiver round 2.
Mm-hmm.
No, Diontae was a third rounder.
Yeah, third.
But
Yeah, still day 2.
You do make a point there, though. I think last year was the first draft that we haven't selected receivers since 2011, 2010, something like that.
For a while, for sure.
Yeah.
And now that trend's gonna continue. The streak's going to continue
Well,
again.
we did lose 3 receivers, and we gained 2 in free agency, but they're depth guys.
Yeah.
So,
Well, one,
I mean, Gunner, he's going to be your return specialist. So, he's not going to be there to be your main, slot guy.
yeah.
And then, I mean, so realistically, you're taking a wide receiver in the draft, unless, you decide to, trade or sign one, which to me is, who's worth trading. That's, where all the big name wide receivers that are worth trading are not worth it because you'd have to pay them big money.
right.
And we already have to deal with that once, so I have to deal with it twice.
Mark says most people feel Moore is only a slot guy. That's all we need. And that's exactly what he is. That's no
Yeah,
problem.
that's what we need.
That's not a problem. He could be one of the best in the league, man. It's crazy. He's only played the position for 3 years, and he's already this good.
He torched Pitt as well, so he's done good at Heinz Field.
And, of course, we all know he went to school with Tomlin's kid. I mean, the connections just line up. He grew up in Pittsburgh. He went to Shady Side Academy. It all makes sense. It's just a matter if he's there. If he is, I can guarantee he's going to be a Steeler.
No, 100%. We're not going to pass on him.
No
you
way,
don't pass
Tomlin.
up on a guy like Sky Moore.
No way
You
Tomlin
can't.
does that.
He's too talented.
He is too talented. Cody says don't sleep on Jahan Dotson, wide receiver from Penn State, second round. I think he's going late first. Would y'all agree?
Yeah, he's a beast. I think he's going to go to either the Packers or the Chiefs.
I agree.
I think he's a Chief, man. He just looks like a Chief.
He does.
And that's not fair.
He
'Cause Jahan
can enjoy making TikToks with Juju.
But Jahan Dotson just he looks like and plays like Diontae Johnson. Only probably he could be better, man.
does. Yeah, maybe. I mean, hopefully not if he's not on our team, but could be.
I don't know, bro. This receiving class is stacked, but I think we can agree at some point day 2, probably second round. That's the sweet spot. We're actually going to select our next slot guy.
Isn't that when Fan Blitz is usually day 2?
Day 3.
It's day 3, yeah.
That's Saturday in Heinz Field. Yep. Which
You guys must be excited.
well, this is the first time they've done it since 2019. I was mad that they passed on it last year.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm very excited to get back to Pittsburgh and just not only watch the draft, but go to Heinz Field again and go to the locker room, walk on the field, put in my tryout for kicker. I mean, for fuck's sake.
Be the next Chris Boswell.
Hey, I'm coming for Boz's job. Just letting y'all know right now, man.
Well, I'm going to let you know right now, Boswell's going to put you to shame.
Probably.
That man is a godsend. I'm just saying.
Yeah, shout out to Chris Boswell, man. What a
Greatest kicker in Steelers history is Chris Boswell.
I would agree, man.
100%.
I would agree.
We almost got him killed, so hopefully we don't do that again.
Yeah, seriously. Don't do that, Tomlin.
Don't get hit sticks by the Browns in the Halloween game. Oh boy.
Yeah, and
Not
I wanted,
kidding.
I wanted to see a Harvin throw, but we didn't get that, so hopefully we get that this year.
Yeah.
I think we
He's got
could.
a cannon.
I think we could, man. I really hope so. I think people are really counting Harvin out already. People forget, man, he went through a lot last year. He lost his, I think it was his father and his grandmother in a 2-week span
Yeah. That's
around,
brutal.
around Christmas time. Like, that is rough on someone's mentals, man.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we were there at the Titans game where his dad was able to actually see him, and unfortunately, that was the last time I was able to see him play. It was when I heard that, like, that was emotional for me because, like, I didn't know he was going through that, and now I understood why he was going through some struggles last year. But he did step up late last year, so I'm hopeful. Like,
Yeah, I remember that playoff game against the Chiefs. You know, he put the
he was
Chiefs in
great.
some deep territory.
we got something in Harvard, man. People just need to, give it a little time.
And he was a rookie punter last year. I don't know what people expect from a rookie punter.
Yeah, just give.
Yeah, and he's 22, so that's really young for a punter.
Exactly. Give.
Yeah,
I was gonna say give Thick Boy a little bit more time, and then I think we got a really good center. But I agree. I hope we run some fakes. Hopefully, Danny Smith and his gum chewing jaw can come up with some creativity on special teams a little bit.
I mean, let's just take Presley Harvin and turn him into our defensive end. Problem solved. Who needs? He's
he
got
may be
the body for it.
He may be the second best QB on this roster behind Trubisky. Just throwing some more Mason Rudolph shade out there.
You would.
Both can go and kick rocks.
Y'all don't like Mason, man.
He's had his chances.
Yeah.
He had his chances Lions game where the Lions weren't preparing for Mason Rudolph, and he did nothing and let them tie with them. So, you know what?
I mean,
He had his shot.
He sent us down the field twice in overtime, only for people to fumble the ball. But
Yeah, that game, for what it's worth, the overtime part wasn't his fault. That was Diontae and
Muth.
Brian Muth's fault.
Yeah, that entire overtime was a roller coaster, man.
The rest of the I mean, he was good the first drive when he threw the touchdown to Washington, but after that, it was just he just didn't do anything.
Yeah, Washington's one highlight of the season.
It literally was. Yeah,
I like how it comes from his old college teammate.
I mean, that's not Washington's fault, though.
Let's send Mason back to Dallas so they can be together again. There you go. Trade him for a 6th-round pick.
I don't know who the hell is Dallas's
we got
backup anyway.
we got no QBs left, other than Trubisky.
Yeah, like we're
Oh no, not yet. I didn't say now. We can trade him next year.
He'll be a free agent. He'll be a free agent.
What's his? Nah, he's worth a bag of chips right now.
Mason Rudolph's gone after this year. I truly believe that. Because,
yeah, definitely.
There's no point. Yeah.
I mean, Trubisky's on 2 years. We're gonna probably draft a quarterback. Trubisky has no spot. Well, not Trubisky.
If anything, you bring back up, a decent 3rd-string guy next year, or unless you find somebody this year, because you know how the Steelers like to keep 4 quarterbacks. So.
Oh yeah. Speaking of 4 quarterbacks, a guy that I would want us to sign. He's from the USFL. His name's Jamar Smith. He's been absolutely destroying other teams. He's pretty much like Lamar Jackson in that league. He's got an arm. He's mobile, and I don't expect much from him, but I think that he's absolutely worth a shot after the USFL lets people sign their free agents.
Why don't we just bring Duck Hodges out of retirement?
Just let him have his number 6 back. Wait, isn't it?
He's been arguing with Mark Madden recently.
I seen that on Twitter, man.
About what? What the?
Okay, so Hodges retired, and then Mark Madden said his next stop is Canton, Ohio, and then Hodges replied saying Mark Madden's next stop is Pornhub.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Duck Hodges don't play around, man. Don't mess with a duck caller. That's my quarterback.
I don't hate it. I think Duck should. Hall of Fame. But why would he get mad over that? Like, isn't that a compliment saying you're going to the Hall of Fame?
No, he was doing it as a joke. They have history.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mark Madden has history with everybody, man. Mark Madden's just a controversial little, whatever he is.
QB. He's going to smoke our next QB the second we draft him.
Yep.
If we do.
Mark Madden calling your name, it means that he's trying to start something with you.
Yeah.
He just loves to do it as his job. That's how he gets fame.
Money.
So he's relevant.
Yeah.
Exactly. Bravens1 says, what do you guys think the Steelers' chance at drafting Kenny Pickett or Desmond Ridder in the first? I think Pickett has no chance. I don't think he'll be there.
Shot.
Ridder is a great possibility.
There's a decent chance that we get Ridder.
If Pickett gets drafted to the Steelers, that's like a Daniel Jones type thing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going at first, but I think he will go to like the Panthers or to like the Saints because
that's what I hope. Pickett at 6. That's where Daniel Jones went. They both were 8. They're both from the ACC. It makes all the ton of sense.
Oh my God, that's insane. My mind is blown at that, bro. Blown. George Rice says, just draft Olave in the first. Go the best quarterback left in the second because all of these quarterbacks in the draft are 2nd or 3rd rounders, in my opinion.
We need to attend Ohio State's pro day, so I think that's probably not possible.
Yeah,
now.
the first time in a long time, we literally missed out on Ohio State's pro day to see Matt Corral. Was it Matt Corral?
Matt Corral. Yep.
They never skip Ohio State's pro day. Never.
That was insane.
So they're going quarterback, man. I think we can all agree on that. It's just happening.
It's inevitable at this point.
Now, before the pro days happened, I was kind of eyeing Olave in the first, but after seeing that they went to Corral's pro day over his, I'm like, yeah, they're not eyeing receiver first round, so I'm completely ruling that out. Yeah. Well, other than that,
I could be wrong, but I did not see us bring in any of the top receivers for top 30 visits.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about it. I didn't see any either, nor some of the defensive linemen, actually.
Yeah, I didn't see many. I think we brought in Jordan Davis, but we may have. But
all the quarterbacks,
QB, Hamilton, and then a bunch of other like 2nd, 3rd round guys.
Yeah. I mean all the top 6 quarterbacks
I mean, they brought him in. So, again, this could all be a smokescreen. I don't know. But who does all this work, all this effort? Who does all this? I mean, Tomlin went to Pickett's pro day. He went to the Pitt pro day and drove how many hours to go see Malik Willis? He's going to do all that for it to be a smokescreen? I just don't see that.
No, there's no way.
And this goes all the way back to the Senior Bowl when they were talking to Malik Willis's parents. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's been a while.
They're really getting to know Malik Willis.
Yeah, that tells you something.
That's my dream when it comes to quarterbacks. That is my.
Sure.
I mean, dude, that picture of Tomlin smiling at Malik Willis when he made that place, it is literally worth 1,000 words.
I'll get the picture for you.
And next to Hugh Freeze, right next to him.
Yes.
So that's also there.
Here, let me find the picture. I have it saved on the desktop. Where's it at?
And I think Brandon Hunt was right next to them too, and Colbert. So they were all there.
Yep, right there. There's Brandon Hunt. There's Tomlin smiling. There's Colbert
on the phone,
probably talking to the Giants right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
the Maras and Rooney's are related. That is something to note. They're related, so there's that.
Wait, who's related?
The Rooney's and Amaras are related. The Maras are the Giants owners.
I did not know that. That is very intriguing.
What is it like? They're like a girl, not a girl, like a wife or something. Like it's got to be. I mean, but that's interesting.
I didn't know that. Okay, now that
actually, I remember
That was-
hearing
that's
something about
interesting.
that a while ago. Yeah, something like that.
And the Giants won a straight down. So there's that.
Hey, could work in our favor. I don't know if Tomlin really loves him.
I just hope they don't trade a lot, man. That's my scary
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, I'm sure we're only going to trade up what we think is worth Malik Willis. So I trust us whatever we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we overdo it. Colbert's too smart to overtrade.
And whoever the next GM's going to be after Colbert, I'm sure he's going to be in that war room. I think it's going to be Brandon Hunt, but I'm sure they're all going to be in agreement. Hey, if we're going to trade up for Malik Willis, I'm comfortable giving up this year's next picks and setting you up as the next GM. I think they're all going to be in agreement, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they had all this time to set something in stone for sure.
Wait, go ahead.
I would assume that we have a trade in place with some teams so that if Willis is on the board at that point, we make the move. It just depends on when.
I absolutely agree that we have a trade in place. Maybe not now, but they will. It's just a matter if they
just
can
like
actually.
the Broncos deal, we had that in place.
Yeah,
and then pulled.
It's just a matter if they can actually execute it. That's the big topic. But if I see trade when one of the Giants picks are on the board.
Oh yeah, that's going to be awesome. That's just my dream.
Hey, we shall see. In 4
hours, I wish.
In 4 days from now, man, we could be talking about Malik Willis being the next Pittsburgh Steeler or any other one of these quarterbacks. In 4 days from now, 4 nights from now, we will find out who will be the next Steelers player at 20, man, in the first round. In Colbert's last
and here's a bold
pick.
Here's a crazy bold take. If we do draft Malik Willis, I think he's going to be the highest selling jersey from that class because every Steelers fan is going to get that jersey. Even the ones that are shitting on him, they'll still get it.
Yeah, I at that point, I might have to get it. I don't get rookie jerseys.
I'll definitely get it. Yeah, I don't get rookie jerseys either, but if we draft him, I'm breaking that rule.
Yeah, because I did that for Najee last year. For Willis, I might do the same.
Now, if you were to be drafted, what number would Willis wear?
It's not 7.
I know it's not 7.
I have strong opinions. I think he has to wear 1. That just fits.
Well, no, I think number 1's. I think it's unofficially retired because that was Gary Anderson's jersey.
Yeah, we can retire that for Willis. It doesn't matter.
Hey,
Gary Anderson ain't that guy.
What about is number 8 available? What about number 8?
Yes,
that would be another good one. I think Carl Joseph may have it though, but we can tell Carl Joseph to go fuck himself and he can
That's
change.
right. That's
yeah,
right.
I forgot all about that guy.
Yeah. He took over Melvin Ingram's number. That's right. That is right.
And then obviously 3 is unavailable. He's not getting 3. That's retired.
I think
So
5.
better be.
Yeah.
5 is available. I know that.
5's kind of ugly though.
5 is ugly. It looks
5
good.
is from
I mean, he looked nice in 2. If you want to get rid of Rudolph, just throw him on the garbage and let Willis take 2.
9's not available because that's Boswell's.
Trubisky's 10.
I mean,
can't wear
Willis,
12.
I think you wore 14 into Auburn, but that kind of looks a little ugly.
14 is cursed.
For quarterback, 14 for a quarterback, no.
It's cursed.
Yeah, that's not.
13, maybe. I don't know if that'd look good on a quarterback, but
Dan Marino made 13 look good. So
If you go demon mode and go 19, that would be really ugly. But
what about 15?
I mean, Pat Mahomes wears 15. I mean, there's a few
kind of like
quarterbacks.
15. I kind of like 15. That's not bad.
That's not bad.
I can work with that.
all right.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
Hey, we'll find out in 4 days.
18's already taken. Yeah, no, it would be very interesting.
We will find out in 4 days from now. I think we're going to cut this stream off very shortly, but before we do, I want to get your guys' final prediction right here, right now, man. I'm going to go from the list down. H2O, who do you think is going to be the pick at 20 or in the first round in general?
I'm going either Malik Willis or Desmond Ritter, but I'm hoping it's Malik Willis.
Okay, Nasty, or, excuse me, GT?
I'm gonna go Malik Willis. I mean, I think the stars are lining up for that to be the pick to be there. I think the stars are aligning, the planets are aligning. Whatever else terminology you want to say is aligning.
Right. Paper?
I had a dream, so I'm going to go with it. I think we're going to trade up to pick 7. I think we're going to give our first round pick this year, our first round pick next year, and our third round pick this year. And we're going to take Malik Willis at 7. That's my prediction.
And imagine that, man. We replaced number 7 by trading up for number 7 at number 7. Imagine that.
And he wins our 7th Super Bowl.
That is some Illuminati shit, bro.
That would be some shit. I mean, you can't write that shit. You can't make that shit up.
Right.
If it were to happen.
It could. And four nights from now, we will find out who will be the next Steelers first-round pick. And that very well could be and probably will be a quarterback. We'll find out shortly. But I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight, man, on the Discord chat. A little late decision, but I'm glad to have you guys on, man. And, of course, we will have our final mock out on Tuesday. It is already recorded. It's already edited. Thumbnail's already done. I will just say this, and this is kind of a spoiler alert. It is exactly who you think it's going to be in the first round. That's all I'm going to say. That is all I'm going to say. But I thank you guys for coming on tonight and talking about who could be the Steelers pick at 20 or in the first round, just talking prospects and positions, man. You guys have a great rest of your night. Have a great, strong week. It is officially draft week for the NFL, man. It came here quick. It's great, and we're very close to the NFL draft, which is going to be another chaotic night in NFL history and definitely one of the more chaotic drafts in recent memory because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to go down, but that's a good thing. So you guys are more than welcome to join us with a peace outro. Rob, you can sign us out, brother.
Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Peace!